don't engage with much CF content online because it's just not really helpful for me, personally. But it is sometimes nice to know that you're not alone. My dad used to make me chocolate spread on toast, but put a layer of butter underneath the chocolate spread and like hope I wouldn't notice. I noticed. Maybe that sounds good to some of you, but it was not good to me.
Yeah, we can replace them with like balcony tickets. I was like, no, like I finna be in the pit. Like
It's that we say Prime Minister instead of Prime Minister.
Wait, what do Brits say? Prime Minister? Prime Minister? Prime Minister? Prime Minister? Boris is the Prime Minister. A couple of years ago, halfway through my master's degree, I unfortunately ended up in hospital for 2 weeks. Pretty routine for me, not a big deal, had a chest infection, all fine. However, I was very stressed that I was missing out on my master's because, as you know, a year's worth at university really means 2 terms worth of content, and then for the last part they just sort of pack you off on your own adventures with nothing but a laptop and a crippling phobia of the library. So about a week and a half into this hospital stay, I managed to convince my doctors to let me go to one of my seminars. I'm an incredibly impatient inpatient, okay? I'm not proud of it. It fills me with great shame. But there we are. They reluctantly acquiesced. Went to the seminar, had a great time. Afterwards, it's Thursday night, my friend's going to the pub. I obviously go to the pub and get my glass of wine. I sit back down and my friend sees the long line in my arm and goes, "Is that all right? Is this allowed?" And I was like, "I'll check." So I ring my nurse. I say, "Hey, you can drink on IV antibiotics, right?" She goes, "No." And I was like, "Huh, interesting." She said, "Liz, where are you?" I was like, "I'm at the pub. Okay, I escaped my white-walled cell temporarily and I'm just having a good time, okay? I will come back after one drink." She said, "Liz, don't turn up to this ward drunk." I was like, as if I would. I did only have one drink, but it turns out the reason they tell you not to drink on IVs is because they make you drunk faster. So I'm not saying one drink went to my head, but I'm also not saying that. It wasn't my finest hour.
Can't believe we're at Hogwarts!
No, that's Buckingham.
Yeah, I'm sure most people know this, but a modern translation of that balcony scene in Romeo and Juliet might be more along the lines of this. Romeo. Romeo. Why are you Romeo? Like, you're so fit, but my family literally hate your guts. This is so inconvenient for me. Shakespeare, who? What was it like to wake up from a medically induced coma? I can talk about this. Yeah, I've had therapy. No, I do think it's actually important to talk about it because I don't hear it much. So here's my experience. So I woke up, I immediately knew something was wrong because obviously I was expecting to wake up from a routine procedure, and then I knew I was in ICU because it wasn't my first time in ICU. And all these people were staring at me. And this is 100% true. My first thought was, I'm alive. And my second thought was, I should get a tattoo, which I still haven't got because I'm really indecisive. So if anyone has any good tattoo ideas, please let me know. The things that stick out were, so they stitched these wires into my neck, I guess to give me the medication. Wait, I can actually show you a bit. My mum wasn't allowed to take any photos of me on the ventilator. She did ask because she knew I'd be interested. But here's a few days later when I'm on the ward. It's an Instagram story, as you can see from the huge filter. But that's where the wires were. You can see those marks. I had those marks for a really long time. It made me feel like I was in the Matrix, you know, one of those pods like hooked up to the machine. And it's generally really nasty, like low level painful. And I had an arterial line, like not fun. The whole experience really made me reflect on the indignity of old age when you lose your bodily functions because, you know, I could barely move. I had a catheter in. I couldn't wash. I was being like sponged down with wet wipes. My teeth were brushed for me. My hair was braided for me. My nurses were absolutely amazing and they're in with you 24/7 in ICU. Also, my experience was I kept coughing up blood, what felt like every 30 seconds. I don't know if it was that much. But you know when you go to the dentist and they like suction the fluid out of your mouth? Like, my nurse had that, but to suction the blood out of my mouth. And I can like still feel it clanging against my teeth. I didn't eat anything for ages. The first thing I ate was like this really fancy vanilla yogurt from the M&S downstairs. It basically just felt like my body had been hit by a truck and I slept a lot. I was so exhausted and I was too tired to really comprehend the gravity of what was happening. So that was fun for me to unpack later when I was healthy. But yeah, that was just my experience, and thank goodness for the NHS. Jane Austen, nice to meet you. Charlotte Bronte. I know you are. Right, yes, I recently met your sister Emily. You're both authors, I believe. Yeah, we write proper books. With emotion in them. Sorry, was that a dig? Let's not beat around the bush here, Jane. Your books are stuffy. I shouldn't like to live with the old ladies and gentlemen in their elegant but confined houses. What? I'm writing about women living in a certain type of society, and there's no depth to it. I thought Emma was okay. You delineate the surface of the lives of genteel English people curiously well, but there's nothing profound in any of your books. Well, I would argue that a novel doesn't have to be melodramatic to have real meaning. In fact, I wrote a novel that was melodramatic purely to parody the genre. Well, I guess we don't see eye to eye. I guess we don't. It's nice to have women in male fields, though. No, you're bang on, to be fair, yeah. Hi, I don't think we've met. No, I'm Elise. What? My name's Elise. My name's Elise. Shut up. How do you spell it? Elise. Same. I hardly ever meet other Elises. You're like the second one I've ever met in real life. So what does this mean? Well, I think our only options are best friends or mortal enemies. Best friends? Okay. Emily Bronte, nice to meet you. Oh, hi. I'm Mary Shelley. Wait, I know you. Didn't you, invent sci-fi? That's what they tell me, I guess. Remind me what your book's about. Oh, it's about this scientist called Frankenstein who's obsessed with his own ambition. So he creates a monster out of dead body parts and brings it to life. He does what now? But then the monster gets really sad because no one will love him because he's ugly and hideous and kind of scary. So he goes on the rampage and he kills all of Frankenstein's loved ones. But then Frankenstein chases him around the globe until Frankenstein dies. And then the monster gets really sad and he wanders off into the Arctic, never to be seen again. I absolutely love the sound of that. Oh, thank you. Do you want to go and hang out on my mum's grave?